Hi guys! It's been a while since I've recorded a sitting down episode, so I'm so glad to be back. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. So good to have you. And if you're new, welcome. So glad to have you as well. My name is Jazri, and this is my show, The Mind Shift Mommy Show. And I talk about all things mindset shifting to live better lives. And today I'm going to be talking about comfort zones, just some tips and strategies that you can keep in mind when you are finding yourself in a place that you want to leave your comfort zone, but you are finding it a little difficult too. So I got you today. So first, I'm going to start with a definition of a comfort zone. A comfort zone is a psychological state in which a person feels at ease because they're not being tested. Inside the comfort zone, people don't typically engage in new experiences or take on any challenges. They only participate in activities and experiences that feel familiar, making them feel in control of their environment. So that is a comfort zone. So now, why do people stay in their comfort zones? The first thing is simply fear. It's understandable biologically that people would feel unsafe stepping out of a comfort zone. My daughter has a book that's teaching her about emotions, and she's 3 years old. So this is a book for 3-year-olds. And in the book, it talks about fear. And it has like a picture of a little kid fearful in their bedroom because there's a thunderstorm outside. And the book goes on to say that fear is okay because, like, don't worry about feeling fear because fear helps keep us safe. It would make sense to feel a little scared of a thunderstorm so that you stay indoors and don't go outside and get struck by lightning. So it's not the fear itself that is the issue today. However, if you are fearful of asking for that raise, asking for that promotion, changing your career completely because it's no longer serving you, breaking up with a person, stopping yourself from being yourself, those fears is people holding themselves back because of a fear of failure. It is necessary to fail forward in life. You need to make mistakes, aka fail, to learn. Let that ish go. If you are feeling bored, if you are feeling stagnant, and if you are just feeling an overall sense of unfulfillment, those are signs that it is time for you to step out of your comfort zone in life. So you can't rely on your brain so much here. Really tune into your body and how you're feeling in this current place in your life, and that will help you determine if you need to start making some changes to start stepping out and living more into your purpose and living more fully into your life. You know what it feels like to feel unfulfilled in something. You know it. You know what it feels like to feel bored with your life. You know what it feels like to feel stagnant, like you've been doing the same thing every day for weeks, for months, for years, and with no means to an end. That, my friend, is a sign to start stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something new. Another reason that people might stay in their comfort zone is because they have a fixed mindset. People try to convince themselves that they can't learn new things, that they can't learn the necessary skills to get them to that next place that they want to be. And really, that's all just excuses at the end of the day, because we are all fully capable of learning and learning new skills to get to where we really want to. Having that mentality of I can't do this or I can't do that is going to keep you stuck in that comfort zone that is actually not starting to feel quite comfortable because you know deep inside that you're capable of doing more. I'm all about small changes making a big impact through consistency and time. And one of the things that you can do is something as simple as reframing your thoughts. I don't necessarily believe in the idea of being fearless and doing things fearlessly. Even in my affirmations that I listen to and they say, I am fearless, and I'm supposed to repeat, I am fearless. I'm like, hold on. I have fear in me. So that would not be a truth for me to repeat that. What I replace it with is I am courageous. And let me break down the differences here. Fearless obviously means to have no fear. I feel like that is unrealistic for humans. We're gonna experience being scared and having some fear whenever we are doing something that is different than our norm. Being courageous is about feeling that fear and doing that thing anyways. Courage is about pushing through that fear and getting on the other side of it anyways. Because whatever it is that you want to strive for on the other side, it's worth it to at least even try for that than to stay in the comfort zone that you have built. So it's really just kind of breaking ourselves from that past version of us, that younger version of us, that older version, whatever you want to call it, and reaching the potential in you. And a way that I was thinking about this for me was thinking about fear as a veil. So what I have here is my hair wrap, but it's just a thin piece of cloth. And what I want you guys to start thinking about is to think of yourself in your comfort zone, and this veil that's right in front of your face, it's like kind of thin. It's still a little thick where you can't fully see. It's not as fully transparent as you'd like. You don't know what the outcome is on the other side. You can kind of see, kind of envision, but you're not sure. And that's where the fear is coming. How I want you to start looking at fear when it comes to this scary little veil as the ramifications or whoever's in your way or whatever that means, whatever trigger this is pulling in you, maybe a scarcity mindset. You're afraid to, grow. You're afraid to be making more money. You're afraid to do something that is new to you, but it's actually something you need to do to grow more. Fear is this veil, and I want you to just enact that courage within you and just pull the veil. Even if it's like, you're scared. I understand it. We're scared, but you know what? Just look at it like this. Pull the veil. Even if you got to do it a little slow or go like that, whatever your style is. But this right here is what fear is. Today's fear, not the thunderstorm lightning fear. That's real. My child should be aware of that, and that's a great example they gave in the book for fear. You're not going to see in the children's book for a 3-year-old an example of fear being you sitting at your office table scared to send an email to your boss saying that you quit. They're not going to say, it's okay to feel fear. Fear keeps you safe. That's not the fear that keeps you safe, because the fear in that situation is your fear of failure, your fear of somebody reacting a way that you don't want them to react. And the bottom line is we have to learn to start putting ourselves out there no matter what the outcome is, no matter what somebody else thinks, no matter who's on the other side and they might feel some way. Because guess what? A lot of the time, the majority of the time, there is no boogeyman. There is no boss coming in and ramming down your door and saying, you're gonna quit. Like, they're like, okay. And they keep it pushing and they're getting ready to hire somebody else. Like, I promise you, people do not care about you and your actions that you take as much as you think, especially in these corporations and just in the workforce in general. You have to put yourself first. You have to put your wants and needs and desires first in life. That is how you are going to live the life that you truly desire. That is how you are going to grow out of your comfort zone piece by piece and gain more and more confidence to build the life that you truly love, because it is possible for you. You don't have to be living some mundane life and thinking like, oh, well, this is as good as it's going to get. Absolutely not. That was a lie that we were sold. You get to create your life. And we all have something within us. Deep inside, maybe sometimes. It might have to get a little dug out, some dust and dirt on it. But there's something within you that you want to do and that you feel driven towards. So the question is, are you currently in that path right now? Are you making some steps towards it? And if so, can we be taking a little bit bigger baby steps? I think you might know an area in your life that can come to mind when I'm talking about where can you step out of your comfort zone a little bit more. Before I left the workforce, I was working in an Ivy League university, and I was doing communications work, and part of that communications work was as a writer. And my work focused on all topics surrounding diversity, equity, and inclusion. And a big area that I had to push myself out of my comfort zone was when I had decided to write an article that had many opinions in it from students that were disapproving of the administration and disapproved of the way the administration had handled certain responses to conflict that was happening at the time. And it was actually related to the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict in the Middle East. So it was very challenging for me. It was an area where I had to push myself. I had to really test myself in terms of my own principles and my own values versus my fear. And in this case, it was a fear of possible retaliation of some sort from administration with me, you know, writing this article. So that was something that I had to grapple with for a bit. And when I exposed myself to students and faculty and staff who were really so much more affected by this conflict than me, who had actual family members in those areas, who had been experiencing the devastation, and how I could see the students and the faculty and staff that were suffering because they felt so unseen and so unsupported within the university. It made me reignite my passion and principles and values for why I even had an affinity for social justice and equity and inclusion and diversity in the first place. So even though I still felt that fear, I chose to write the article anyways. And it was something that I was very open and transparent with my supervisor about, and they were so supportive and, you know, fully let me own it. Another part of the fear here was that I knew my article was going to go for review directly to the administration that, you know, students were disappointed in. That those channels too, I very much kept open, let my supervisors know that I was open to discussion on the article to make sure that we were including all points of view in case the administration did want to add something as well. Long story short, there was definitely some tension when my article was seen. It did not end up being published, but I know me simply choosing to move past that veil of fear, that veil of like, oh, I probably shouldn't write this article. It's not even going to get published anyways. Oh my God, people are going to be so mad. They're going to think I'm attacking them, blah, blah. Push past that fear. Write it anyways, because just remembering again those principles and values about everybody's voice and concerns needing to be heard. It still worked out really well because at the end of the day, the people who needed to see that article saw that article. And changes were made, which is great because I know my article had a piece in that. And I share this to say, you have no idea what you stepping out of your comfort zone can also do for other people, not just yourself. Realizing that sometimes stepping out of your comfort zone means that you are in a position of privilege, where you get to take some sort of action on behalf of your community or, you know, community members of people that otherwise would not have the opportunities that you do. And this also goes for your family members. You could be a business owner that is afraid to step out of your comfort zone because that next level of growth is scary to you. It's an unknown. You might realize that you need to hire somebody because you're getting so busy and successful that you need to hire some help. But it's scary to you because that means you're then responsible for somebody else, and that might trigger a scarcity mindset in you. But remembering all the work you did to get to this point now, where you can actually now hire somebody, first of all, is amazing. So it's great to reframe your thoughts again. And instead of looking at it in a negative fear-based way, look at it in a more positive or at least neutral way, but very positive, to remember I was busting my butt all those years working on my business, and I'm now at the point where I get to hire help. And that's another example of that reframing of your mind. Instead of I have to hire help, I get to hire help. I get to hire an assistant to help me. And bringing it back to your family, you get to work on your business and build a business that's then going to support your family. These are amazing things that I see a lot of people in my life doing, but we know that we hold ourselves back from so much prosperity because this scarf, which is just a figment of our imagination, holding us back. So what I ask you today to do is to just remember, you can swoop right through. Now, there's one quick clarification I want to make about discomfort and the word discomfort and what it means to be uncomfortable when we are stepping out of our comfort zones. When you are stepping out of your comfort zone, you are going to experience fear of the unknown. Okay. That is uncomfortable for people. When is it time to stop? When is it time to stop pushing for something that you might think you want, that you think is, the right thing to do? And I'm here to tell you that the moment the action starts to feel icky, that is when you need to stop. That is not an aligned version of stepping out of your comfort zone. That ickiness feeling is letting you know that you're starting to feel devalued. So don't even get to the ick. If you know what, I sent 2 follow-up emails, I'm not doing a 3rd one because that would give me the ick. Don't do that 3rd one. So that's just a small distinction I want to make here when it comes to stepping out of our comfort zones and like being a go-getter and going after our dreams versus forcing something and pushing something too much. Okay, there's a slight distinction there, and you're going to feel it in your body when it's draining, when it's not fun anymore, when it's not like you're determined and it's just like, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall type of thing. Okay, so remember that. Don't push yourself. Don't overexert yourself. Back to my case with the article, I knew in my body I was going to be overexerting myself if I kept pushing to get the article published. It was starting to feel very stressful for me. I didn't have energy behind it, and I think it was because I innately knew the eyeballs who needed to see the words that I wrote saw the words. So I felt like my task was done. My brain was confused and I didn't know. I felt like almost a sense of justice, like this should be published. I should push to make sure it's published. But that felt very tiring to me. It was just a different feeling in my body. It gave me the ick. It felt more icky to have to continue to fight for something. And again, like I said, everything ended up working out wonderfully. So again, key takeaways here. A comfort zone is a place where you are going to feel at ease. You're not going to be tested, and it's okay to be comfortable sometimes. I don't think we have to keep being go, 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 go all the time. But if you are feeling uneasy in your comfort zone, if you are feeling unfulfilled, if you feel like you want more, that may be a sign that it is time to start stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm going to start calling it an uncomfort zone because the biggest reason people stay in the uncomfort zone is because of fear of the unknown. And your mind shift that you're going to make today is to remember that fear is a natural part of life. Fear is what helps us keep ourselves safe biologically. But we have to remember that the everyday fears, the fear of failure that many of us are holding ourselves back from today, is not a real, actual, valid fear. Failure is not going to kill you. Failure is not going to come from the sky and strike you and electrify you, okay? Failure is a necessary part of growth, so we might as well embrace it at this point. And it's a great thing because you learn from it. You learn so much. So embrace failure. And finally, don't worry about being fearless. Just try to be courageous, okay? You can be afraid of the little veil if you must. You can be afraid. You can feel the fear of the uncertainty. But today and forward, we're stirring in that courageousness within all of us. And we're going to be scared, but we're going to do it anyway. Scared, but you do it anyway. Okay. All right, so with that being said, that's the episode for today. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you got something out of this. And with that being said, I will see you in another episode. Toodles. Bye.
Give my all for that.